The Indiana Greenwood Park Mall shooting ended when a young man stepped up, exercised his constitutional carry right, and took responsibility to protect the civilians around him. This video addresses how to be accurate with a handheld pistol at 40 yards with just iron sights.
Her granddaughter was in the food court, traumatized but safe, thanks to Shay's boyfriend, Elijah Dickin. The 22-year-old from Seymour took down the mall shooter. Investigators say Eli, within seconds, stopped the suspect, pulled out the pistol he was carrying under the constitutional carry law, steadied himself against a pole, and fired 10 rounds from 40 yards away. The suspect tried to go back in the bathroom, but instead fell to the ground.
His actions were nothing short of heroic. He engaged the gunman from quite a distance with a handgun, was very proficient in that, very tactically sound.
Hey guys, this is Cam and Mike here. Today we want to talk to you about a question we get a lot from people, and that's how can you be more accurate with your pistol if you're just using your iron sights?
It's a great question, and usually this happens at longer distances like 20, 35 yards, all the way up to 40 yards. And take a look, every time we do this, we're going to take a look at how we're doing and make comments on what we're doing to get the accuracy to work for us. Sounds good?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, 40 yards, good grip, good sights, nice press. This is a tutorial on how to shoot technically accurate at 40 yards, handheld with iron sights. At the time I made this video, I used only 5 rounds at each distance, but the technique remains the same. There's one inside here, so I do have, oh man, this is great. This is really, I'm happy about this. There's a dual shot here, so there's one right there, there's one right there, one right there. I've got a 10, 2 9s, an 8, and I pulled one here, right there. That's a good setup here. Let me tell you what the trick here is. So if you look at this, if you go to the 7 yards, I expect to be all 10s at 7. I expect to be all 10s at 15, which I got all 15. I would have liked to have been better on this one. I think this was when my grip was fading. And then I really messed up the grip here. I think I got complacent. These two were too easy. This one got complacent, and that's why I got this drift down here and that drift down there. And the way you do that is you always think about it beforehand. So what I'm working on is a strong vice grip, okay? So this is what a vice grip looks like. When you're holding the grip here, this is nice and relaxed. This is a vice grip. This is about almost all the strength you have. You don't want it to be white knuckles so you're shaking, but you want it to be almost just under that point, and that's how you get a really steady shot, a steady gun, when you have a vice grip on your support hand. Of course, left hand is going to be the other hand. And then this is this is very loose, okay? Always keeping the finger outside the trigger until you're ready to shoot. And then the second thing is your trigger press, okay? So let me show you now. This is an empty weapon, totally empty. Okay, so a trigger press, a good trigger press is you want to come off the trigger, you want to take up the slack, and then you want to find the wall. This one has a very short wall, and it's right about there. Now then if I put another pound of pressure on it, it's gonna go. There's the slack, a little bit of pressure, little slack, a little bit of pressure, and it goes. You want to be shooting from the wall. When I am pressed out like this, I am shooting from the wall. I'm right there. I've got about a pound or 2 on it. The next time as soon as I see an acceptable sight picture, which is the 2 back posts, front posts are perfectly lined up. As soon as I see an acceptable sight picture, I don't sit there and bounce around. I sit there, if it goes through that perfect middle spot, I am pressing the trigger right then. That's called an acceptable sight picture. Nice press, trigger prep here. And that's it, that's really it. If you guys will work on your grip, your trigger prep, your trigger press, and then making sure you wait until you get an acceptable sight picture. So it's gonna bounce around at 20 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards, it's gonna bounce around. You wait, you don't wait for it to be perfect and steady. It's never gonna do that. You're a human being, you're gonna be shaking. But as soon as it goes through the middle, boom, you press it. All right, so how can you guys get results like this these shots here at 35 to 40 yards. Long distance pistol. How do you get it with iron sights? How do you get this kind of accuracy with iron sights? There are 3 tips. First is grip. The second is target versus front post focus. And the final one is trigger press. Let's focus right now on target focus versus front post focus. So looking at this target, we have 2 sets of 5 shots each. We have the 35-yard shots that is 42 out of 50 points, and those are all marked in black. The farthest one out for the black set, the 35-yard set, is the 7 ring. And then I've got the rest are within the 8, 9, and 1 and 10. The 40-yard, which I thought wouldn't be quite as good, was only 1 point less. So I had a 10, 2 9s, an 8, and a 5. And I love the 10, 9, 2 9s, and an 8. That is a really good set for me. Especially 1 10, 2 9s, that's really strong. If I could have converted that 5, which is 1 flyer over here, if I could convert that 5 to say a 9, that would have been exactly where I want to be. However, I want you guys to be able to get this result. If you can get this kind of result or better, you're in really great shape with your iron sights at long distances. Most people shoot iron sights at 7, 5, 7, 10, maybe 15 yards, but very rarely do you shoot at 35, 40 yards. But if you can, you have mastered, and you can get this kind of a result inside of all black. You have mastered trigger press, you have mastered grip, and you have mastered the idea of going between target focus and front post focus on iron sights. So let's show you what that means right now. So what you're looking at now is the target is in focus and the sights are out of focus. Now let's look at the sights being in focused. And what you would do is you would switch your focus. Now I'm switched to the sights. Now I switch back to the targets. And to make sure that you're lined up properly. Like, subscribe, and comment to see more content on advancing the practice and psychology of firearms performance.